That was single-handedly the stupidest introduction I've ever done to my YouTube channel. Oh, hi, my name's CountBubby, and we are going to do a lightning round Q&A to get you to know me, to know what I'm about, so you can decide whether or not you're gonna stay. I'm doing so much pointing, and let's get this started. What's your name? We're really digging deep here. My name is Nick Todd. I have all sorts of different names. CountBubby being the facing one. Honestly, I answer to any and all of them, so yeah. How old are you? I am 22 and not thrilled about it. What do you do? I am a college student at a university, and by university, I mean community college. And by community college, I mean community college, as I am broke. I'm aiming for a degree that I will not specify, so in the meantime, I do this. Why did you start making videos? So when I was younger, I decided that I like to entertain people. I like to be a dancing clown, and the rest of my family recognizes me as that. So that's what we do here. We try to be funny, we try to be entertaining, we try and be insightful, and sometimes we fail at it, but the important part is we try. How long have you been doing YouTube? I've been doing YouTube for 11 years. That's a long fucking time. 11 years across 6 channels. No, you will not know what they are. I might crack later. I'm very vain if you couldn't tell. What sets you apart? Great question.
This. Yeah, honestly, I'm a bigger fan of the more grounded microphones, not worrying so much about pristine audio quality. I think there's some honesty and roughness. But aside from that, I am an innovator. Not necessarily in the best ways. Basically, we won't get into it, but I have ADHD. You can clap now. And so I always have changing interests. I'm always trying new things on YouTube, trying to do something different. That's both a good and bad thing. Because if I make Fortnite videos, you want to stay for the Fortnite videos. I'm gonna stop making Fortnite videos. But I'm always trying to follow a new interest and or topic. So honestly, inconsistency is kind of the best part about this. But that being said, there are some things I just timelessly love. So what's your end goal? To start streaming. That's about it. I guess in a grander sense, I want to change up the way the YouTube meta works. Now obviously, that's very difficult. But I watch One Piece, so who cares? If you can dream it, you can achieve it. And that's what we stand by here. Oh boy, we gotta really dig deep here. What games do you play? So I know every single YouTube channel my size goes, I play a little bit of everything. I'm like queso. It's like, that's fine. That's totally fine. There's a place for that. I'm no different. To understand this, you need to know that I am very, what's the word? Autistic? I don't know. Artistic? Either definition works. Undiagnosed, but we're pretty sure. I play a lot of different games. Some you've heard of, some you haven't heard of. I'm really into Marvel Rivals. I'm gonna sneeze. I'm really into Marvel Rivals. It's one of my favorite hero shooters out now. I also really like Minecraft, but I'm also into very obscure games like Shadows of Doubt and Fate. So honestly, what can you expect to see here? A wide range, a little Venn diagram, popular, unpopular, niche opinions. Why do any of this? Honestly, I've never liked the way YouTube functions nowadays. Sure, you get some really good content, like Nexpo, my mind's blanking, and there's some really creative video ideas nowadays that we would have never been able to see back then. However, I'm not a big fan of the Mr. Beastification of YouTube. The concept that every single intro needs to punch, you need to get to the point, grab their attention, grab them and bring them out. Have those flashy thumbnails, hit the... that's not fun to me. And honestly, I'm a big fan of authenticity. So, channels such as the Weekly Slap or any of those millions of Minecraft commentary channels who just turn on a Minecraft world and talk about how much their girlfriend hates them. It's like those videos are great to me. And so I wanted to return to basics and just have fun. be myself, unapologetically myself. I'm very excited. I am simultaneously the calmest person you'll ever meet and also the most cracked out. How did streaming work out for you? So I streamed for 7 years roughly, and on my 5th, I almost could have gone the whole way. And by that, I mean I was averaging like 10 to 12 viewers, which is a lot. I'm not going to discredit that. But I got scared, stopped streaming, and then my account got banned. So basically, channel banned, I bailed, tried streaming on and off, then here and there, like for the next 2 years, but never really committed to it. So we bailed, we're here now, and we're trying to start fresh. There's the Twitch if you want to follow me there. Yeah, I can't promise I'll start streaming soon. I'm very scared. What's the key topic of your channel? Video games, gaming media, stuff like that. However, I don't like to be boxed in. I'm like a rabid lion. If you box me in, I'm just gonna claw and scratch at the bars. I really like talking about video games. I am very hyperfixated on how games work, what makes them fun. I also just like to like things. So generally speaking, I have a very positive opinion on almost everything. So when I have a negative opinion, it gonna be good. Although, I do reserve the right to talk about other things that are outside of the gaming sphere. You know, things such as anime, movies, and maybe even music. We'll see where the channel goes later down the line. Why CountBubby? So this name has a lot of different origins, one of which was my sister. Her nickname for me was Bubby. One of my best friends, he called me Bub a lot because he thought it was a funny word. And then also, I just kind of thought the name was funny. So CountBubby, that's where we're at. It's a little funny, little scrungly name that I think befits a scrungly. Yeah, it's who I am. Okay. What is your avatar? Had to say that like a little nerd. So originally it was a rendition of Count Bleck from the Super Paper Mario series. However, due to copyright infringement and also I don't fucks with that, I interpret it as like a little ghoul / ghost dude. I would like to do more with the picture, maybe even get a custom profile picture, but we're broke. So any artists who want to hit me up for that, I might. Favorite band? It's 3 Days Grace. Is there anything you hate? So I'm not a very hateful person. That being said, I do hate one thing. Specifically, I don't like negativity in video games. I think it's okay to be frustrated and kind of like express that, but I think there are a lot of games that kind of lean heavily into that negativity, and they just ruin the experience for everyone. So me personally, I try to be upper beat, but you know, sometimes that's annoying, so I don't do it all the time. But generally speaking, I hate toxic people. Those people suck. Why so many channels? So once again, I'm not going to list them all, unless you really want me to. Most of it being like they were stepping stones to bring me to where I am now as a person. So from my first ever one, recording on the iPod, that's what it was called back in the day, all the way to me recording in the backyard with my high school, middle school best friend, to making a very refined Funny Moments YouTube channel with hundreds of subscribers. I've done a lot of different things, tried a lot of different things, dropped maybe half the channels I don't really upload on anymore. But then the other half I still do kind of semi-frequent. So I might link those in the channel about section, but we'll see. What's the vibe of your channel? This!
Never over the door! Wait.
Except surprisingly toned down. Yeah. I don't give that impression. Why the shitty webcam? You watch your mouth, you son of a... Honestly, like I mentioned before, I really like the rough aesthetic. I could get a cleaner webcam. I have like a DSLR XR, 360 Firebird, Leo, Rising Sun, Capricornus, over in my cabinet over there. But that's a lot of work to set up. And also, I personally prefer if I have a more rough look. I like the thing Queso's got going for him. Am I going to be Queso? No. Oh, no. Queso's funny. Some people call me annoying. But I do like that he can make like a rough webcam work, and so that's what I'm aiming for. Just a little rough aesthetic, 20 frames a second. You can see I move my hand like this. You see the after images. That is insane, dude. Well, would you look at that? That's all the time we have. So those are however many questions that was to get you to know this channel. I am a semi-animated person. My closing remarks being that, honestly, if you like anything that I said in the video, consider subscribing. You don't need to, just consider it. I am planning on making a ton of videos. Some of them really upbeat, some of them more low-key. I've made like 2 videos prior, and that should give you a general idea of my vibe. But I want to aim to be as authentic as I can on this channel, be as real as I can, and just give you the kinds of videos that you deserve. So yeah, if you like this aesthetic at all, consider subscribing. That being said, I will see you in the next video. I have a couple of ideas of what that's going to be, but nothing definitive yet, so we'll see you then. Bye-bye.